It's Brian from Team Hoygoy, and today I'm going to be deck profiling 6 Samurai, and I'll just get right into it. First we have an Inishi. We run 1, and he's like the boss monster of the deck. He can get rid of monsters on either player's turn because he has a quick effect, so stuff like Bottomless, Compulse won't stop him. So you can get rid of a lot of things this way. I mean, he's good to get over strong monsters because 6 Samurai generally have a hard time with that anyway. And he's easy to get out with cards like Iroh or Kageki. They both have 1700, so they can be asceticismed. They're targets for each other. And Iroh is just here as a target for asceticism. Also because he gets over face downs, which are pretty popular now, like Snowman Eater and Gigias. I run one Zanji also for asceticism with Kizan. He takes things down, he gets across things because he just crashes into them and he takes care of them for the rest of your monsters to attack directly. I mean, this Yaichi is my own personal choice. Some people don't like him, but I personally do. I mean, you just drop a Yaichi, they can't bottomless him. He's 1300, he's too small. And you summon Grandmaster right next to him. And if your opponent has a bottomless and they choose to bottomless Grandmaster, he just goes right back to your hand and you can just summon him again. So with these two out in play, your opponent basically loses their set magic or trap. So that's basically why I like Yaichi. But yeah, I run 1. I have 1 Elder, asceticism. The only thing that keeps him in his deck is asceticism for Shien. The only reason why he's still feared is because asceticism with a Kagemusha can instant Shien or Beast. I run 2 Grandmasters. Some people run 1. I like 2. It's always nice to have that extra summon. 21's, you know, it's nothing to laugh at. And besides, he protects Shien. He protects anything. If they Dark Hole with when you have an Elder or a Grandmaster, then bam, that's a 1-for-1, which is really good actually for baiting out Dark Holes and stuff like that. But yeah, he protects Shien. He goes back to your hand. He's reusable. He's a lot of pluses. I have 2 Kageki. This is just same thing, instant Shien with a Kagemusha or any other monster. He's a spammer. I mean, he's not as good as he used to be with Effect Veiler running around. You drop him and he's stuck at 200. But still, that's why he's cut down to 2. And don't forget the 2000 defense, so you can actually set him and he'll be a pretty good wall. But yeah, that's why I run Kageki. I run 3 Kagemusha. It's pretty standard. You mean, you gotta get into your synchro summons. You gotta get into your, your plays, all that, and you can be asceticism with Elder. And I run 3 Kizans. This card's broken as hell. I mean, he can special summon himself pretty much whenever there's a 6 Sam on the field, which is gonna be always. And with Gateway, people thought the Grandmaster loop was bad, but the Kizan loop is even worse. And that's the monsters. I think there's 15. It's pretty low, but each monster can be toolboxed a different way, so it doesn't really matter. For spells, I have 3 asceticism. This kind of runs the deck. Whatever you need, this will search out for you. If you need a Kageki or something, you can just asceticism. If you need Kizan, you can just asceticism. This is a really good card to have. 6 Sam Uniteds. This is like the 6 Samurai version of Pot of Greed. I mean, you have to summon 2 monsters, but if you don't have 2 monsters on the field, you're probably going to lose anyway. So this is a +1 right when you use it. It's Pot of Greed. Gateway. This card's broken. It was the first card to get limited to 1, and with a United out in the field and Gateway, you can spam monsters like hell. You can just have 5 monsters in the field and search like 3 more. For searches, we have Reinforcement and 2 Smoke Signals. It's standard. You want to be able to draw into your monsters, especially with such a low count. For the stable spells, we only run 1 Mystical Space Typhoon. This is probably because with Beast, Barkian, and Shien, you're going to be negating a lot of things. Musakana, you're going to be negating a lot of things. So sometimes 2 or more is a dead draw, but I do side the rest in case I need them. And just Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn. We don't run Dark Hole because 6 Sams aren't really big on nuking the field. Same reason why we don't run Torrential. You don't want to be popping your own monsters. And those are the spells. For traps, we have 2 Bottomless, 2 Deep Prison. This is standard removal. Without ignition priority, Bottomless is a really strong card. It's making a comeback, and Deep Prison just to remove gets over things like Stardust, gets over things like Zen mains. Also, 2 Compulse gets over Zen mains. I mean, they go to a Synchro Summon or Exceed, you Compulse it, -1 for them. I run the Solemn Trio because why not? You need it. Warning gets rid of monsters that have like trigger effects, condition effects, all that. And then Judgment. I mean, Judgment's a good card, but sometimes the cost is really high. I mean, half your life points for negating one thing and having them beat you down later, it happens. 1 double-edged sword technique. I wouldn't recommend running more than 1, 2, or even 3. You can clog up your hand sometimes. This is enough to draw almost any time of the game to have that extra synchro or extra XYZ or something, or just push for game. And I have 2 Musakani Magatamas. This wins games. This saves you. They Dark Hole, you just use this. They just wasted their Dark Hole. And you have 2, so now you can negate Heavy Storm or something. And it just protects everything, especially Xian. And that is the deck. And I'll move on to the extra deck. I play 1 Leviathan, 1 Tempo, 1 Wind-Up Zen mains, 1 Acid Golem. These are the rank 3s. They're pretty standard. Especially Tempo. Tempo is a pretty good card. And for rank 4s, I have Utopia, Excalibur, and I run 2 Xian. Some people run 1, but with a Gate and United Out, you can combo with these, you can loop with these, and you can spam the field really fast. Excalibur, just for the OTKs, just Utopia, standard. For synchros, we have Xian. This is the card you want to have out first or second turn, and you want to keep him on the field for as long as you can. I mean, his effect is pretty broken, which is why he's limited. I wish he wasn't, but he is. And he negates a spell trap every turn, or during either player's turn, and that's just really broken for no cost at all. And he's really easy to get out. That's why all these 6-am decks, they can get him out easily. Turn 1, turn 2. And just Gaia, just a beater. Black Rose. Colossal Fighter with this deck is actually really good. Sometimes when I need to, I just flip the double-edged sword. Colossal goes up to almost 4,000 sometimes late game. We have Scrap Dragon, Stardust, and Mistworm. And that's the extra deck. For sides, I have Keimon. He's a good side for game 2 in case your opponent, he sides in stuff like Royal Decree, Prohibition, stuff like that. Keimon will get rid of it in a pinch. And yeah, that's why I came on. 2 Cyber Dragons for any machine decks, Machinas, Gigias, Character, anything. With him, with Chimera Tech, he takes out their whole field, and you just easy push for game. I do keep the other Mystical Space Typhoons in this extra deck, side deck, just because sometimes you need it. Sometimes they run so much back row that you need to just get rid of them before Xian can hit the field even, or even more than he can negate. I run 2 Soul Takers. This is like the broken Smashing Ground. You can pick whatever you want and take it out. 1,000 life points is nothing compared to the damage you'll be dealing after you take out their monster anyways. I run 2 Prohibition. This is against Dark Worlds. Anything that relies on 1 monster, kind of like that 1 card to keep the deck running, you drop a Prohibition, it's game. They're going to call it game. And 2D Fissures, it's good against a lot of things. I mean, a lot of decks rely on the graveyard, like Dark Worlds, all that stuff relies on the graveyard. Dimensional Fissure. 6-ams can handle nothing in the graveyard, considering the only card that touches it is Double-Edged Sword Technique. And I run 3 Rivalry of Warlords. This takes out a lot of things, actually. This is for windups, and this is for Dino Rabbits. With these out, Dino Rabbit's heavily crippled, and same with windups. But yeah, that's the deck. And alright, Brian from Team Hoygoy signing out.